Jobs. Jobs.
I was gonna
Jobs.
No, I was gonna count down.
Bloopers.
I'm gonna count down and then you say,
Okay,
right?
on one or like when he does this, we'll say jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Alright.
once he hits the okay.
Jobs. That's what we need to revitalize our economy.
Canada needs to rebuild its strong economy by bringing jobs back to Canadian soil.
Businesses in Canada must create jobs for Canada.
Businesses outsource jobs because it's easy and because it's profitable. But in Canada, we will end the practice of punishing profits with high corporate tax rates.
And we'll incentivize businesses to bring those jobs back to Canada by providing that profit incentive in Canada.
We will give tax breaks to businesses with large workforces.
It works because companies can make profits here. They don't have to outsource their jobs.
Canadian businesses already have to deal with all the costs of shipping and transportation. By incentivizing them, by giving those tax breaks in Canada, we encourage them to actually create jobs in Canada because they no longer have to deal with all those costs. They get to have profit in Canada, which creates Canadian jobs for our workers.
Well, you may be wondering how we're going to pay for all this. Well, it's really quite simple.
To fund all these tax cuts, we will create more tax brackets so we can tax different people regarding their incomes in a better way.
That means most Canadians will be paying less taxes.
The problem under the current tax code is that we have only 4 tax brackets and a top tax rate of only 29%. Now that applies to incomes over about $135,000, which means that someone who earns $135,000 gets taxed the same as a billionaire. I think that's ridiculous, and I'm right-wing.
So the People's Trust Party will create 20 tax brackets, which means that most Canadians will be paying less or won't be affected, but those that make more than that $135,000, they'll be paying something a little more proportional to their income to the benefit of all Canadians.
Doesn't that sound good to you, Canadian citizen?
Yeah.
On top of that, we're going to introduce an estate tax on inheritance. Canada currently doesn't have one, oddly enough.
Without an estate tax on inheritance, the money of the rich continues to circulate among them without benefiting all of Canada. If we introduce this tax, we really hurt nobody that does a good day's work, and we benefit all of Canada. By creating this tax, we make sure that money isn't lost to Canadians. We make sure that Canadians still have access to some of the money that wouldn't be used for Canadian purposes anyways. That way we can fund programs like our business incentives plan.
Our plan is all about economic growth because we know that economic growth creates jobs. Jobs that put money into the pockets of ordinary Canadians, ordinary working families, families that spend money, and promote the cycle of economic growth even more, creating even more jobs and creating prosperity for Canadians. Now we're going to pay for these giveaways in 2 ways: introducing an estate tax and increasing the number of tax brackets, while also increasing the top tax rate. With this plan, we will spur economic dynamism and propel Canada into a new age of prosperity. So when you find yourself in front of that ballot, remember that a vote for the People's Trust Party is a vote for jobs and a strong economy.